Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the first of the mini lessons for Chapter 2, which is our basic chemistry chapter. So the reason why the anatomy book is having a little bit of chemistry is because some foundational ideas of the understanding of chemistry are needed to give you the ability to understand some of the physiological processes that you're going to be covering in some of your body systems. So if you've never had chemistry before, or if it's been a long time, maybe you had chemistry in high school, but you don't quite remember a lot of it, please reach out to me or your lab instructor to get some help. I do in-person office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays after your lab, or sometime maybe while you're in lab. You can pop over to my office or during Zoom on Monday and Wednesday mornings, or some other time by appointment. So if you feel like you're struggling a little bit with the chemistry, please reach out and get some help. I am happy to walk through that with you or your lab instructor. So for this is a short little mini lesson just talking about energy to make sure you understand kind of the foundational ideas of the universe. I guess that's a pretty big idea. So we're going to do energy, and then we're going to talk a little bit about atomic structure and bonding, and then we'll wrap up with a mini lesson on some of the biological chemistry, so the molecules that are important in living things. So we're going to first start by taking a look at matter. So you may remember this from middle or high school science. We learned the three states of matter, right? We have solids, liquids, and gases. So matter, like what is matter? Matter is kind of defined as anything that has mass and takes up space, as opposed to energy doesn't have mass and it doesn't take up space, like, my glasses or my computer mouse. These are things that have mass, you can weigh them, and they take up three-dimensional space. And they can be either in the form of a solid, a liquid, or a gas. So even the air in my room here is considered matter. It's made up of atoms and molecules of gases, nitrogen and oxygen, carbon dioxide and water vapor, and they do weigh stuff. They have mass. They're not very much, but they have mass. So that's the idea of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. And we can change these states of matter either physically or chemically. So you can think of think of water. Water is a really easy one because we're pretty used to all three of its states of matter. So you could have water and ice. You can heat up ice and turn ice into liquid water, right? So that's a physical change. And you can take that liquid water and you can heat it up even more until it turns into steam, which is water vapor, which is gaseous, the gas state. So that's how water can change physically. It's still water ice, it's still water liquid, and it's still water gas. Or you can chemically change it by separating its atomic units. So you add some electricity and you can break up water into its component parts of hydrogen and oxygen. Then it no longer is water, and it just is going to be oxygen gas and hydrogen gas. So those are just a quick review of your states of matter. The other part to this mini lesson is energy. Energy is very basically defined as the ability to do work. Well, what does that mean? Well, energy gives you the ability to move something, to heat up something, to cool down something. So energy is the ability to do stuff, to do things, and your cells do things all of the time, so we always are going to need energy. And there's lots of different categories of energy. The first kind of categories that we're going to take a look at are what we call kinetic versus potential. So think of kinetic energy as the energy of movement, and potential energy is stored energy. So in this diagram here, you have somebody riding their bicycle and they're pedaling up a hill. So they're putting energy into the system, into their bicycle. It's moving, and the bicycle is moving to the top of the hill. They're going against gravity. That's the work that they're doing. So this kinetic energy is work that's going into the bicycle to put the person up on the top of the hill. Now, all of that energy is stored in the position of the bicyclist on the top of the hill, because now he has the stored energy. Then if he goes and kind of starts rolling down the other side of the hill, it is still kinetic energy, but we are releasing all of that stored energy. So the stored energy is potential energy that puts the person at the top of the hill. And then when they roll down the other side of the hill, it's kinetic energy, but it's the release of all of that stored energy. So think kinetic energy is the energy of movement. Potential energy is stored energy. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the various types of energy. And I just have a whole bunch of different pictures to represent the different types. So I will label these because the picture is not labeled. Okay. So this is what we call chemical energy. Okay, so chemical energy is in our food. So we have chemical energy also in rocket fuel. So this is also chemical energy in the space shuttle and those rocket boosters. So chemical energy is energy stored in the bonds between atoms. So all of these little lines here between the carbons and the hydrogens and the oxygens, there's energy stored there. It's potential energy stored in the chemical bonds. Okay. Here with the lightning and the little girl on that generator is electric energy. Okay, the movement of electrons through her hair, through the sky. All right, here with the bicyclist and the windmill, this is a type of energy called mechanical energy. So it is that kinetic energy. You're using your muscles to move the bicycle. The wind is moving the blades of the turbines. That is mechanical energy. And sunlight is what we call radiant energy. Okay, so radiant energy could be light energy. It could be heat energy, like a heating pad or a fire, releasing that radiant energy. So these are just various types of energy. What we are mainly going to be concerned with in this class, especially in chapters 2 and 3, is chemical energy. How do our cells take this potential energy that's stored in the chemical bonds of the food that we eat and convert that into the mechanical energy of our body doing things, right? Contracting muscles, firing a neuron, blinking, digesting food, sending a hormone from one part to the next. So we are focused on chemical energy and how its ability to give us mechanical energy. All right, short little first lesson for chapter 2. All right, so I'll see you next time for atomic structure and chemical bonding. Bye.